Hello, welcome, and that's going to be the last video I do about A380 fly-by-wire. Just a little preview of what's going on is that it's been tested on my end with the professional flight controls that are pretty much all full force feedback, etc. Okay, so forward to before you even try it, make sure that you will tune your flight controls. Guys, please tune your flight controls accordingly. Do a little research about how side stick on Airbus in general feels like and what it should feel like, and by the time probably it will be the Microsoft 2024 already out, but for now just make sure you tune the sensitivity correctly. All right, what else as a forward? Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it real quick. I'm not gonna do it thoroughly because of course I'm going by FCOM, the official documents, and every company, every airline has their own procedures, standard operating procedures. So out here, this is the video for y'all just to get started and to get situated. All right. As well as that, keep in mind that when these operations right now that I'm gonna show, those gonna be combined with two people crew. So I'm not gonna split those in between first officer or captain or pilot flying or pilot non-flying. That's just gonna be all together. So I'm just gonna try to give you the idea of how it's gonna be all together. All right. All right, I'm gonna be starting now. All right. Okay, so we're located at Chicago O'Hare Airport with real weather. One sec. Yeah, and what I'm gonna do to save your time, save yours and my time, what we're gonna do is we will prepare the aircraft from cold and dark to just by normal situation. Just we're gonna get normal operations, and we're gonna take off from Chicago here, and we're gonna come back to the same airport. We're gonna do like far transition Perhaps even with the, not perhaps, but for sure, we will climb out and get to the arrival and get a somewhat close transition to this airport, the same airport. Unfortunately, Chicago O'Hare Airport does not have any RNAV departures, and basically it's a vector departure, which is fine. I've tested this aircraft before in airports that had it, and no problem, it does that. You will see. So in order, I'm not gonna go through obvious things. By this manual, I assume that you know at least some general knowledge about simulation aviation in general. Okay, but again, the all the operations in pretty much standard, and they will reflect as per what Airbus wants. Okay. All right, let's go. How did you get the plane earlier? Internet, and it is open source as well. Many people were working on this plane, just like me and you, and it is the open source. I wasn't the one who shared it originally. I know that they wanted to release it some time or someday, whatever, October 33rd, but I wasn't the one who shared it. Maybe the lead development team should really think who they share it to in the first place, but I wasn't the one for sure. So for me, I'm giving you guys just preview, so you will have the knowledge how to operate this aircraft before you'll have it. I have in no case malice towards fly-by-wire or anything, and they know that. So most of the all right, I'm not gonna get into that. All right, so just let's go. 1 second. All right. Okay, so we are in Chicago O'Hare Airport. I'm still thinking, should I give you guys the just standard operate procedures as far as just operating the plane, or you want me to do the whole flight? Let me think about it for a sec, because I was just gonna do takeoff and normal operations, just come back to the same field. All right, let's see how it goes. Maybe we'll maybe we'll vote for that. Because otherwise, if I would tell everything about how to do a normal flight, then I would have to do ATC and all this good stuff. And I think no, let's do like this. If you guys want would want this kind of flight with full just full procedures, like companies and all that crap, you can vote for this in Discord, and then I will do it some other day. Okay, but today we'll just do a regular operations. Just think about it as you are getting into the line work, right? So you have got the type rating for this aircraft, and you already know, of course, some of the stuff that you're supposed to, basically, if you're flying that bird, of course you know. So I'm not gonna get into the things that obvious for me, you, etc. Not for beginner, but if you fly in general, in a simulator, I will try to explain as much as easiest as I can without any complications for you to understand. All right. So we are outside, and first thing we're gonna do is safety exterior inspection, which is we're gonna check for wheel chocks, which are not present at this moment, or they are present but I don't see them. Probably can see it from here. Landing gear doors should be closed, and APU area should be clear, as well as you should see any unusual stuff such as leaks, any fluid leaks or anything like this. Possibly, maybe they will even make that happen later on. I haven't seen, well, I know one model that does that, but that will be later in my streams. I'll show which model does that. All right, so in one sec. If you can join the Discord and then vote. If you want me to vote, I'll do the full flight, full blown flight, some other day, okay? And like I said, Discord is here, and I will answer your questions while we do that. Ray Jackson, hello. Is it heavy on FPS compared with Phoenix? Yes, at least with the version that I have right now, it is heavier than Phoenix. Again, that's depending on I've talked to other people and they had the same issue. Perhaps maybe on the release it will be slighter. At least I'm providing some feedback to the whole crew of Fly by Wire, if they can see that not only on general things such as this, but also on other things such as dynamics, etc. All right, let's go. All right, so we did the safety exterior inspection, check out the whole thing, and obvious what the reason for the safety inspection. It's not, don't confuse it with a safety inspection when you walk around, actually around the aircraft in a manner of clockwise walking around, right? This is prior to that. So the reason for this one, for the safety inspection, for this exactly, not the other one, is to see right away if something needs to be done, or right away if or of that we're not gonna fly, right? And it's gonna be easy as well, you know, if I look at the aircraft and I see some of the pneumatics, let's say punctured or anything like that, then right away, of course, it's gonna get canceled, right? Or if I see some leak, it's gonna get canceled. So in the first, when you come around the aircraft, either it's Cessna or this, you're gonna see the whole picture of it, and you see if we can even make a flight just by looking at it. All right, let's go inside. And we can, all right, I'm not gonna go into a lot into the I'm not gonna go a lot into EFB part of it. It's just operational today, okay? As well. As well. All right. So I really wish I would get FCOM in this thing. So to turn on the EFB, you just gotta click on it with the left mouse button, and it's gonna light up. Here you will see, basically in this model, everything made so that you have it's kind of going by the turn, right? So the first one, as you prepare your flight, you're gonna import your sim brief data, and for that you're gonna have to go to settings, and then you go to sim option. Wait, sim options, that was it? No, wait. Yeah, just go through it. You'll have to enter your sim brief data and your other data, and just make sure that you will set it up. One of the things I was setting up, like I'll show you what I was setting up. All right, so from this one, I didn't touch anything here except I had to go to kgs. Just like this here. Yeah, I had to calibrate throttle tense, so I had to calibrate and make sure that see here. Get at least some volume in here. So yeah, of course you set up in your flight sim. What I did is set up 2 for 2. So most people have two throttles, so one each. So I did 2 for 2, and that's the easiest to do. So now to calibrate this, it's pretty easy and straightforward. I don't think I have to explain it. You can see it. And then you hit, and then load and apply, etc. Split. The model itself is really nice order. So if you go from up, well, I advise you to start from this one. So from the settings, and then you go down and set everyone. Okay. And then just make sure that you go through all these before you even do anything. So all right, and then what I would do after this is go, if you have SimBrief, then you would import your data here. Let's do this because it's gonna depend a lot on this. So I'm gonna actually do some bogus flight. All right, so I'm gonna hit SimBrief, and I'm gonna do let's see, let's go to JFK. All right, now I'm thinking maybe it's a good way to do the full flight, because all right, so we're gonna have United Airlines 1, and then O'Hare to JFK. Okay, let me show you this one. All right, so I'm gonna fill it up like this, and 380. By the time it's gonna be out, probably you will have correct correct body with correct weights. You see, oh yeah, this already came out. There you go. So you might as well choose that. Although I created mine, the correct one. I bet they created the proper one too, so. All right, so make sure with this aircraft, make sure you will choose the correct runway, because in place like O'Hare, for example, right? Let me show you. I can hear some wind. Let me just show you. Oh, really? Interesting. oh well. No more AD on this one, but that's okay. We can check it on here. By the way, if you connect your Navigraph out here, if you go and you enter, this is gonna be automatically entered when you get your SimBrief file. But make sure sometimes, a lot of times, the airport compatible with A380, and there is a list of compatible airports in the world. There are not many. So you will have A380 routes of taxi, but let's go to this later. All right, so we're just gonna go with the taxi and then airport info. It's called AD, airport diagram, pretty much. All right, so goddamn, you see, I'm so old that I've seen this airport had 1, 2 runways here. There were 2 runways here like this back in the days. There were no, this runway didn't exist. This runway didn't exist. So here is changing. All right. So what I was about to say. Yeah, you can see your position here. And I forgot why I was saying that at all. Yeah. So make sure when you look at the when SimBrief gives you a flight plan, right? When SimBrief gives you a flight plan, don't just accept it with no thoughts. So look at the METAR and look at what runways are available. If you don't know how to look by METAR what runways are available, or you don't know, there are things like ADSB where you can see basically what's going on at each airport. So out here you can see that in O'Hare already it's west operation. You see all these planes are landing here, so you know for a fact that the runway 28 right is being used for takeoff, and runway 22 left using for regionals. Okay, so but when you have experience, you already know what's what. But sometimes it could be tricky. Okay, so just wanted you to know. So for sure, 22 left is not gonna be the runway available for 380. Of course, you know it's a shorter runway, and regionals go from here. So for sure, for 380 is something like 28 right. Okay. Or 80s. Yeah. I'm just saying for this. Hi, Anger and how are you doing? I'm just saying for people, for kids who might not know. Yeah, 80s runway use is perfect. That's when you get the power in the aircraft already. But just from the beginning, when you do the OFP here, at least OFP, in reality your company does that for you, so you don't have to worry. Just check through it, and it might change throughout the way, and by the time you're gonna be ready to taxi, it might change a few times. So what I do basically, if you fly with beyond ATC, for example, right, or stuff like this, because it's scripted to the sim brief. So make sure that you kind of predict what is gonna be out there, because you know this is gonna be a bummer. And beyond ATC will tell you text through 1 and 2 to left, and then what the heck. All right, so 28 right, no, and there are no departures in Chicago or here. It's all it's one departure, Chicago or here, and it changes the numbers, but it's vector departure, so it's basically it's vectors. So, and when there is a vector departure, it's not gonna say out here, at least in the United States. It's not gonna say. So it could be like even DC, where it will have national departure or something like this, and what they used to have, whatever, or it's not gonna say here. So it's gonna be an initial fix here. All right. Well, for the arrival, I'm not gonna worry about that too much here. And then up to your liking. Basically, when you see out here, what I do before I go ahead and publish the flight plan for this, what I do is I check the significant weather just to make sure what's going on, and as you can see, nothing is going on. I check the weather radar. Of course, that's probably the first thing I would do, is check the weather radar. And then I would check the SIGs, and obviously nothing is going on here. So later what I do out here, so I do it right now just kind of like a preliminary check, so I can see if I need any extra fuel or stuff like that, so, or what alternates I should use. So you can see is I check also the the meters. 2018 and gust 30. It's pretty gusty and windy at this moment, and you can kind of hear it too. And in the airport of arrival, and what I do here, just METAR and TAF. Showing okay, so it's nothing is gonna be major. So at this moment, depending on your company, you probably would not even need, as far as you going inside the country's domestic flight, you would not even need any alternate airport. Okay. Morning. Slightly heavier than Cockpit than Phoenix, heavier than strong view. Yes. We're all gonna get to it. SWA. We're all gonna get to it. This is the latest. This is the last video I'm gonna do for this aircraft before its release. All right. So I'm trying for all y'all to have a good understanding before it comes out, despite the hate. Not all hate, but you know, somewhat. All right. So yeah, choose all your resources. Just make sure that SimBrief is the coffee. Just make sure you guys, before you go ahead and choose things out here, you know, make sure that you check what this with the weather, etc. That's what I do. It's kind of like a preliminary check, you know. So at the first thing what you want to do is you want to see if you want if the flight can happen at all, basically. So we first did the safety inspection, so if anything leaking, this and that, boom, goodbye, you know, next plane. And this. All right, so we got the flight plan here by our dispatch. And I'm gonna do auto on this, on each of those. Okay, and I'm gonna generate this. Make sure that I got it all correct. All right. Then of course, when it's connected to your stuff, you can. I usually do the view PDF. I'm just gonna go through it, and what I do is look at the departure time, off time, in time, and etc. So kind of look at the block time, look at the block fuel, souls on board. I'll look at the cost index. I'll look at the cruise level, of course, and then kind of go through it. Just see no times. You know, if you are hardcore motherfucker, excuse my lingo. If you're a hardcore motherfucker, you will go and check the NOTAMs. But honestly, nowadays everything's so automated that your NOTAMs and your company will provide you with NOTAMs and will show you something that already has to do with your flight. So going through the NOTAMs like this, all right, I'm not gonna say anything, but most of the times it doesn't happen. At least for myself. You most fuck yeah. I'm gonna actually, if that was the Boeing, I was like, turn on the goddamn IFE and well, this one I don't know. That's the whole thing. You you see, the probably it'd be unrealistic if this whole thing would be cold and dark like this before anybody comes into the board. So that's only for the sim. Possibly it's gonna be already connected to the air, to external power, and all the good stuff. And coffee will be already waiting for you over here. One of these things. Usually we get like highlighted. Exactly. That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Like lighting, OTS, PAPI, OTS, runway closures. Exactly. And even your company wingspan, where you can exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, EFB right now is it's a lot. It helps a lot to everybody. I remember all this paper time and all this. It's crazy. It's crazy how it is. It's much more faster. A lot of situational awareness at this moment. A lot. Much better. Alright guys, so we have already the OFP. We're not gonna worry about this at this moment, so we'll just exit. Wait, what is this? Okay. I'm gonna exit. I'm gonna guys show you, of course, the beautiful saloon. But the wind's down though. All right, so let's say something stupid like that, and we come to cold and dark. All right, so cold and dark. Every company has its own procedures. The captain probably would have to walk around the whole thing and see if there are any suspicious boxes left or any packages or nothing. Just make sure that's all great. Look at the wing and from top, etc. All right. And one thing, I believe Airbuses have the seat connected with no battery, and so it's on a hot battery bus. But in here, it's not. It might be wrong. I'm not sure. A380 pilots tell me if it's on a hot bus, but in 320 Phoenix it is on a hot bus. So meaning you can come without anything turned on the overhead. You can come and move the seat, and that's important. You see, the seats are really important because you learn that from even smaller planes, because I had my seat slide out on me a few times, and that was crazy, especially on takeoff when it slides out. I wouldn't wish it. It's potential bad stuff. But it doesn't have to do anything with this plane, but I'm pretty sure it's just it will. The flight attendants do the cabin security check. Yeah, like I said, or even the guy on the ground guy, whoever maintenance, whoever that's taking care of this. Have the A380's liveries. Great, guys. Just to make sure, everything that I'm saying right now today. One sec. Drink some coffee first. All right. So everything I'm saying in Discord, in our Discord, there is a real FCOM. It's 7,000 pages, but you only need few. So I'm gonna drop a link. Sign to Discord. There's a lot of free shit, etc., etc. Later. Okay. So now we're inside of the aircraft. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is when we come, I'm just gonna do a quick check before we power up. When we the power up is most of the times supplementary procedures. So power up this, power up that, APU or GPU. We're gonna use the GPU power up. All right. So and the aircraft is not electrically supplied at this moment. Well, it is already electrically supplied. So I'm gonna combine the captain and FO duties. So let's say we have, as we are one, okay, we're gonna come here. We're gonna see that the masters are all off, that somebody did not move it accidentally or anything, that the engine start switch is in norm, that both Vipers selectors are off 1 and 2, and that's pretty much has every aircraft pretty much. The power up is Vipers, starters, and somewhat just make sure that all the levers are in correct positions. Yeah, it doesn't happen, but whatever. Sometimes I have a switch of the gear, and sometimes it could be up or not. So you gear, masters, this, the wipers, and the engine start. All right, so then we're gonna power on with the batteries first. All right, so usually it goes with the battery 1, essential, battery 2, and APU battery. So just from left to right. I'm just gonna make sure again that the engine start is at norm, and then I'm sorry, kind of drifted away. So then you just go ahead with the external power, which is the order is 2, 3, 1, and 4. So 2, 3, 1, and 4. And then once it's powering up, go ahead and do the nav lights right away, and then wait for the whole thing to spool up. I would wait at least a minute or so, because Airbuses do power testing, a lot of systems self-testing at this moment. Okay. What 2 pages of AFCOM? What do you mean? 7,000 pages of AFCOM, but you don't need all the 7,000. At least for your sim enjoyment or whatever. Just do the normal. And if you are astronaut, probably you do all the systems. 7,000. So it's powering up. And then while it's powering up, usually what you do is, first of all, of course, you set the nav lights on, and then you set the cockpit lights to your liking. I'm gonna switch everything off since it's daytime. I might actually let's set a little bit of integrity light here. Also, depending on your company rules, you might set the logo lights, but this model here, I mean in this version here, I didn't find it. I couldn't set it on. All right, one sec. All right. All right, so at this moment, in the real thing, you would do OIS initialization, which is ooh, nice. Oh, wait. I just found that click spot. I didn't see that click spot before. Alright. Okay. So you would turn on the CCD and KBD out here and make sure if your your RMP is also powered on. And basically, you know, turn on the laptop, the EFB, log in, make sure to get correct nav charts, etc. You might get go to init, and go to data. Oh, there you go. Status. Okay, so make sure to go to data, check that the correct engine is here and that the nav database is correct. Again, this is all getting too briefed, okay? Can you show the ATC text feature later? Okay, I'll try to later. Right now we're preparing the aircraft as is. All right, so some features here are still not available. There might be available later. Probably already available, so I'm not gonna. This should come on, but it's not available. And here at least, you see. So you check the validity of stuff here, and what you do next is you press the recall and hold it for 3 seconds. Press that, hold it for 3 seconds. That would bring up any messages from earlier failures or anything like that, if any. So press that RCL push button, press and hold. If any alerts would pop up, you would clear it. So you would press, hold. If any alerts, you would just clear it. Okay. And you would take care of all MEL, CDL items, etc. And you would perform the aircraft acceptance, which I'm not gonna go through right now. So it's a whole different story. All right, basically, so at this moment, what should we do is doing the whole hot items such as fire tests. All right, so the first thing you want to do is just do the whole fire test. So basically, you will go up right here and do the engine and APU fire test. And I could swear I would want to look down here to check the messages, but I can't because my only way I can do it is this. and still not any. But all right. All right, and depending on the company, you would do the liquids check and first overheats check, which is overheats, and then you would do the liquids check, right? So the liquids pretty much just go by each page. Out here, you go to the engine page. You see, when you go to the engine page like this, it's all amber, right? Now to power it up, to check, you have two options. You can either do an engine start ignition, but it's not gonna start anything, it's not gonna provide anything, it's just gonna power up the thing. So like this, just switch back to norm. See, it's gonna be back up to off. But even better, you can do the FADEC. Just open these, press on the FADEC, and it's gonna give you the information here. So in information, you want to see the oil quantity, and just gotta make sure this all in green and all in zeros. Okay. Okay, then you would want to do the door page and make sure that you get the correct oxygen quantity and do the according oxygen tests. I'm not even sure if it's possible here, probably not. Okay, and then you would do the hydraulic quantity. You want to have those done as soon as possible, just because before the the cold and dark start, you have a chance now of calling the company and they can fill it up, so you don't have to cancel the flight if something happens like this. So you want to get the liquids early and make sure that liquids are okay. Okay. Leaked version. It's open source, buddy. Same questions all over again. Guys, I don't think you understand that. Yeah, I'm obtaining it from Bill Gates. You guys don't seem to understand what's an open source. You will have in few days too, October 33rd. Let me write it down again. October 33rd. No, seriously. All right. So, what do we? It's much. My man here cannot decline that this is much faster than 7.3. At least the thing is with that currently is that we have to get the aircraft ready for boarding. All right. So ready for boarding is what? Legality on the ground. So we already have navigation. We already check through our items, and we're gonna do we're gonna make sure that the aircraft has sufficient air and just comfort for people to start boarding while we do our stuff. All right. Usually they connect the air from the bridge and APU with your bleeds and air, you only start prior 10 minutes usually. That's in the US. I'm not sure about Europe, but depends. If you somewhere, which I doubt ever is gonna be on this type, that you will not have GPU, but perhaps maybe the broken GPU, I don't know, whatever, the bridge power is out. On a request you can have the APU running, but okay. Then kind of going through the areas of responsibility again. The pilot, flight captain's responsibility is everything on the left here, up to here, and the it's not called CDU for sure. It's not called CDU again. So that sort of FMS1, and that's it. The first officer is the whole overhead, everything here, and here, all this. So all right, let's again. I said I'm not gonna go into the first officer and captain areas because it's gonna be it's gonna confuse you a lot. Really depends on the airport. Some have less reliable GPUs possible. Well, I mean, how many airports the 380s serve, or vice versa? Because the voltage needs to be within the threshold surge constantly cut in. Yeah, I'm trying my best not to be real specific and not trying to confuse the new guy. As far as new guy, you obviously know who's gonna be the major consumer. So right now we established the power, we checked for the major things, and some of the things include like oil quantity, that if we have less for some reason, we can call the ground or the company people, and they'll come by and add up. So we try to do it as fast as we can and the earliest as we can to make sure that that we will make this happen, right? What I would do at this moment, I would check out all pages, kind of go, yeah, for that we already did. AP, we're not gonna start this moment. This is all here, just no abnormalities. Temperature, the pressure, you can see all the outflow valves are open. It says in auto. Everything in green that's supposed to be green, and if it's an amber, it's gotta either be an access. At this moment, something that is not needed. And usually, okay, well, if I open the door, it's gonna the wind sound is gonna bug me again. So I'm not gonna do that. So make sure to check the ELAC, ELDC, so the electrical AC and DC. Cross check all the greens here in emergency essential, the TRs in DC. Boom. This one's supposed to be in green. Not sure why it's not, but one of the failures, maybe they just in this version they left it. So you see out here, if we would have like TR essential and we'll lose power, See, it would click over. So that works. Well, I like it. Only thing is this one left. Probably not allowed for 380. Yeah, GPU surging isn't simulated anyway. Yeah, a lot of stuff, man. Exactly. We all for the future. We all for the future. Even though some of these kids are hating me at that moment, but I'm thinking I'm doing good for them though, as far as at least give them an idea of how to fly it properly. Not how to fly it properly, but at least how to prepare it. Let's see your days of working it. All right. So, since we are ready with the gate, air, and all dandy, have the lights outside, external lights, we can send the first officer on his way to do the walk around. But prior to his walk around, you want to check the items prior to his walk around. So we have to have the emergency equipment on board, and certain things has to be on before he goes out there. All right, so first of all, we're gonna get our OFP, so we'll import the data. Yay. So it's all imported here. See, it's easy like this. Number one, then you get check number two. It says everything in here. What I would do first is make sure our aircraft is fueled. So the block fuel is what we need. That's that. 77117. Okay, so let's go over here. I swear to God, I had some crazy ass dream today. Fuel. Yeah, there you go. I'm just gonna make sure that it's that again. Block fuel is. Are we? Oh man, come on, man. This is this again in the pounds. All right. Yeah. Make sure that if you are in, make sure all your weights are correct as far as if you're in kilos, then in kilos. If you're in pounds, then in pounds. To make it easier, go to init and then go to fuel and load, and make sure, like, all I saw here is in T, so that means it's tons, right? And my weight, if I can check here at fuel, is in kgs, so it's in kilograms. So I'm gonna make sure that my OFP is in kilograms as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and resend the thing, because I send it in pounds. Jeez, that's good. I saw it now. If you guys know, there was an accident. There was a catastrophe of the aircraft because of the mess up with the kilograms and pounds in 70s, I believe, or 80s. Pretty sure whoever is flying, pilots know about this. It's a really serious thing. That was like cross Atlantic flight too. You see why that happened is that and it will probably happen with you guys as well. I'm gonna show it because the original is in pounds. I'll fly by right here. So I'm gonna do the kilogram version. All right, so 34 tons, 34.6 tons. And I'm gonna re-import. So I'm gonna make sure that it's 34, that's correct. And I'm gonna start fueling up. Yeah, 34.7, there you go. It's, you can have it instant or real, blah blah blah, whatever. And since we are already on the ground, we're gonna skip all the flight crew briefings, etc. So if they come and the code for the door, etc, etc, etc. So we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go straight into the boarding. Okay. All right. So today's we're gonna check the souls on board. Make sure you guys see this as well. Okay, yeah, you see it. 471 and 94 cargo. So just cross check that. Begin boarding. Let's do it. Let's do the real. Okay. Well, let's say it's boarding. Okay. You can say it's real time and then it will slowly load. Okay. So yeah, don't get into Olympic 411, yeah, something like that. Yeah, were they out of New York or something, or Boston? Brand du jus fait une barre. FBI drilling. No, not today. Jonas Zizo. Hello, 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 hello. Guys, just so you enter in this reality. Let's do this. I love listening to this while I'm doing in the sim. All right. This fucking coffee today, man, tastes like shit. All right. All right. So we're gonna do our flight plan since we already have it, and we cross-check, make sure it's all correct. 34.6 is bound. We're gonna go to init, data, status, cross-check, init, and then we're just gonna load off as company. Okay. One sec. One second. 1 second. 1 second. I'm gonna, okay. Put this guy down a little bit. Alright, so few things that I do is are so I connect with the Brunner. This is my flight controls. As well, if I'm gonna check the flight controls here, I'm gonna do the FS realistic. I have for the I will post the FS realistic wait. I'm gonna post the FS realistic config. Then I would usually run the real turb, and I would run the rudder. And out here, this is 775 for the Airbus 380. Max tiller steering angle and max rudder steering angle. Make sure this all written. This is all. Alright. Just got Athens to JFK. Oh, I thought it was vice versa. Чел бомбит то, что называют мужиками. ФСГ вниз. Где? Ah, that fucker. It's all good. Alright. So we're gonna go ahead and copy the flight plan, request flight plan, and then I'm gonna get the clearance. So with this thing, you know, on the regular planes, what I do, I enter in Scratchpad like information. For example, climb maintain 5000, departure 125.6, squawks. So I'm gonna enter it and leave it in a Scratchpad, not to use the pen. To sound lazy. Out here, I don't think there's a Scratchpad, so I'm gonna have to get a pen. Find a pen first. Okay, it says received, copy flight plan, insert. Alright, so that's my O'Hare to JFK, alternate PHL, but not gonna be. Cruise level 390, CI 62, cost index 62 here, Tropo 44992, and Tropo TOC, you can find it in here, TOC 446. Okay, so that means 44,600. It says 44,900, so we're gonna fix it. 44,600. Okay, cross check the cost index, make sure the cost index is correct. 62. All right, and usually you can enter here minus or plus the trip win, but that's depending on the company, so I'm not even gonna bother with it. All right, so before I do anything else, let's so now we're good with preliminary almost. We're gonna check the annunciator lights. Okay, we're looking good. All right. Then we're gonna do is go from left to right, up down to up. So supply crew, and make sure all dark cockpit, so nothing stays white in here. All right. 1, 2, and 3. I'm sure this is an arm. Circuit breakers in here, good. It's gonna be a nav, and all of this is gonna be off, except the logo lights, which does not work at this moment. So we're gonna put the no mobile to auto, seat belts for off right now, emergency exit lights to arm, annunciator lights we already checked, and make sure all norm in here, just like that, auto and norm, nothing else. All right, just gonna go through it. We're not gonna turn on the fuel pumps yet. Okay, we already tested the chimes. I mean that the bells. I'm gonna test the cargo smoke. All right, so the overhead is good. And test the oxygen. All right, so 1 sec. Okay. Alright, so just before we send the guy for the exterior walk around, so before he goes on the walk around, make sure that ECAM, oxy, hydraulic, and engine oil quantity is checked. The speed brake lever is retracted and disarmed. The parking brake handle should be on at this moment, and if before you put the parking brake, before you actually send him out, the body acupressure and brake pressure indicators should be checked. So that's that gauge right here. If you need to okay, so you see the parking brake is on. If this is by any means in green, then you can restore the acupressure by electrical pumps. And if you're familiar with the Airbus 320, they were down below there. Now they're here, so you can activate. Just make sure that before you pressurize the hydraulics, there's nobody out there. Nobody out there. All right. So check the flaps positions should be up, and emergency equipment should be checked inside cockpit. I'm gonna stand up and check the emergency equipment. Now you should also see the gear pins and covers, and you're gonna send your first officer for the walk around, or that's your turn, whoever. get going. Sure. Just get me. No, I don't want to get going because I want to. I want for people to pay attention what they do in the real world, and that's how it does not work. Like get going, get going, get going. So for the first officer duties, you gotta make sure that all white lights are off. Make sure that there is no. So when you look overhead at overhead, make sure that no white lights are off. This one is unbelievably unable to reset, but so ground control should be on as well, but for some reason it does not. And reset buttons. No, check strobe lights is gonna be in auto. The beacon should be off. The remaining lights as required, such as logo and nav. Nav is required, but logo depending on the daytime. The seat belts. Let's say we're already boarding, so I'm gonna switch them on. And no bone meal or smoking will on and on, or on and auto depending on your company. Engine start the selector is norm. Crossbleed selector is auto. Airflow selector isn't as required. Why it was on, huh? Jokers. The batteries, you can check the batteries if you open the DC page right here. And you can check the batteries if you want. That was a bad idea to do the APU bad off though. But it was still on the GPU, so it's okay. Trim tank feed switches are auto. All lights and maintenance panels are off. Cargo and air conditioner selectors as required. RMP's 3 is on. Standby. Red nav key is off. CBR test button is not. And reset buttons on the red sides checked. And then you go to central instrument panel. Go to switch and selectors. Normal ICE is checked. Landing gear gravity switch is off. Clock is reset and set. And anti-skid is auto or on. And then the pedestal and parking brake is set. Body press checked and reinflate if needed. Thrust levers idle. Thrust levers. It's taking a long time, but it's really not. It's just I'm being slow about it, and as well as I'm explaining, so it takes a long time in general when I explain. What's up? What's up? Hi. Where do I get the A380 FCOM? DIGR 0. You get it right here. Wait. At Discord. No problem. Reality. But you see, I don't care any pretty much about. Oh, mine. That's perfect. Ну, пиздарики. Приехали. Дропы нахуй на 90%. У меня же disconnection просто. Пиздато. Alright, I'm gonna do it in 2 videos. I'm gonna restart since